Oda has stated that One Piece was supposed to be a manga that lasted for 6 years, but the reason why it became so long was because of this one man that you love, Dracule Mihawk.
Oh man.
And that one guy,
my favorite design. He's my favorite character.
That one guy introduced the 7 warlords of the sea. And after that, Oda's story became longer and longer and longer. Afterwards, he was just like, you know what? This is just going to last forever.
I'll get to that at the end, but I really like that section.
Of course.
But they end up at this ocean-going restaurant, Baratie.
Yeah.
Want to end up looking for a cook because it's like a restaurant, where he cooks. And we get introduced to Sanji, who's kicking people's butts, and he hates it that he hates when people waste food. And he has this weird sense of morale. I don't even know if he would call it morale, but he would feed anyone as long as they're hungry, and he doesn't like wasting food. And he doesn't use his fists. He always kicks because he doesn't want to lose his hands or something like that.
No, he kicks because he learned it from Zeph. The guy who runs this restaurant is Red Leg Zeph, who was a big pirate back in the day of Goldie Roger. He taught Sanji how to just kick really hard, basically.
Yeah, he was just. I forgot his name because Sanji would always call him like
old man.
or
old geezer. I think
geezer.
it is
something geezer.
Yeah.
It gets attacked by Don Krieg, who's a pirate who came from the Grand Line.
Don Krieg, who is just like, I love Don Krieg and I think he's a good villain, but he's just so overshadowed in this arc by Dracule.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially since like Dracule Mihawk, he's like something like destroyed all of our like 100 ships or something like that, and then he's like, oh yeah, that was me, and like what? And then he rips the ship in half, like their ship in half, and then he's all right, peace, I'm out, and he like leaves.
With his like, doesn't he do it with the little sword, the little knife that he has? Or no, he fights Zoro with the little butter knife.
That was my favorite moment in this arc. But what a disrespectful move to like fight Zoro with such. Why would you go hunting for a rabbit with a cannon? Like
good.
But I saw
good.
I saw that Boichi did a chapter of One Piece.
He did a one shot.
But I didn't know it was like a cannon. I thought he just made up a fight like that between characters. Like
maybe this is in the Ace novel. I don't know, but keep going.
But
sorry.
yeah, Boichi, I saw that he basically redid this chapter, and oh man, but even in Oda's style, this fight was like so cool. Yeah. And because I just love Mihawk, his design is super cool.
And we get one of the most iconic manga panels of all time when Zoro is crying,
where he promises
to never lose again.
Yeah. And he lets him live. He's like, I want you to become a good enough fighter to fight me or something like that. Whether to defeat him in the end or whether to be worthy of fighting him or something like that.
Yeah, because the fascinating thing is Luffy wants to become the Pirate King, but the one and only Pirate King is dead. So he's never able to see somebody or watch somebody who is the Pirate King. Zoro wants to become the greatest swordsman in the world, which is
him, yeah.
Which is, Mihawk. Which he's facing up against, and he's so outclassed.
I thought he was gonna take care of Don Krieg, but Don Krieg was obviously
the Luffy's fight. Yeah,
still alive.
And Sanji, I guess.
I love the fight between Luffy and Don Krieg. It was super easy to follow, and I just loved how Sanji went to go rescue like Luffy when he was drowning.
Yeah.
And I love the little backstory we get between Zeph and Sanji when Zeph ate his own leg because he wanted Sanji to, eat the food that was there on that little island. Nice moment. But Sanji was the most stubborn of joining Luffy's crew so far. He's like, no, I'm not going to join you. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to join you.
Well, because he felt he had responsibility of leading the restaurant, you know, because he was supposed to be the next in line. We also learned that Sanji loves females.
He's a big simp.
That's his big thing.
But it doesn't annoy me as much as that type of archetype usually does. Usually I'm like, bro,
he's more. I will say later on in the story, he does get a little bit creepy in some parts, which I don't appreciate. But I like because it goes in with his sense of morality.
Yeah, he said he would never hit a woman for any reason.
Yeah. So the thing that I always think about when this arc comes is when Zeph makes Luffy work for the restaurant, and he's like, "Don't worry, guys, I just gotta work this off before we can leave." And Zeph is like, "You work here for the next 10 years to do."
He's like, "How am I gonna be a pirate while working here for 10 years?"
Yeah, exactly. Which is so funny. And there's also that scene where Usopp, Nami, and Zoro are having dinner, and Luffy has to serve them, and they're like making fun of him, and Zoro makes fun of him, and he picks his nose and puts it in the water, in Zoro's water, and he's about to drink it, and he like shoves it down Luffy's throat. It's so funny. I love that.
I love
scene.
how Sanji's like sees
Yeah.
Nami immediately. Oh my gosh, she's like so pretty. Like, and he like
Oh,
sends
yeah.
for her immediately, and he's like treating Nami like a queen.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
like not giving any attention to the other guys. Also, you also see like a hint like already for a dynamic. I feel like I get to see a lot is that Sanji and Zoro like argue like so much. Like they butt heads like so much.
Zoro and Sanji.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just really funny.
That's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that Zoro stopped smiling after Sanji joined the crew.
Really?
Yeah.
And then during the fight, Nami steals the ship.
Oh, and leaves. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah, it's like, and I'm like, what? I got
Yeah.
so mad. I was like, bro, you gotta be kidding me.
Me too. I was like, kidding, Nami? But this is now we're getting to a part where what Oda does so well, which I wished a lot of more mangas did, which is arcs seamlessly flow between one another.
Like
because in this arc,
the arc still had
yeah.
to finish, but it hinted
Yeah.
that we're going to be going somewhere else afterwards, which I really appreciated. Yeah, but this is a good arc. But as you mentioned before, right before we enter the next arc at the end of the Baratie arc, two other bounty hunters or Zoro's brothers or whatever, the other bounty hunters that were with Zoro crews, they're the one that mentioned who exactly Dracul Mihawk is, and like they basically explained a lot of what the Grand Line is. Like, how do you not know? Like, whatever. I'm gonna explain it to you what the Grand Line exactly is. Which is still, I don't know exactly how the world looks like and how it works, but the Grand Line is especially is what it is.
It's a line based. It's a place that's along the equator.
Yeah, it's an ocean, like basically, like a part of the ocean.
Yeah.
Which is super dangerous, but what resides there, or at least there's something in the world. They introduced the three great powers in the world. Which I was like, oh, what's that? And he's like, one of the great powers is known as the Seven Warlords of the Sea. And one of those people is Dracul Mihawk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I just feel like that is a really cool way to show what exactly levels there are. Oh, the Seven Warlords with Dracul Mihawk, which is like super powerful and basically soloed like 100 ships. It's just one part that rule the sea. But I just found that super interesting, and that I really like that world building setup. Is that this is a really cool way to do it, is like put someone in here that is important. Eventually when you explain what part of system he's in, it kind of downplays like, oh, he's just one part, a very small part of a bigger group that is just as powerful, and the other three powers of the sea might just be more powerful than the Seven Warlords of the Sea. But I don't know, because we'll get to it eventually.